Hey, welcome to our next video.
Yes.
10 minutes.
Uh-huh.
10 minutes, easy topic today, Greg.
There we go.
Easy topic.
Uh-huh.
Holy Spirit.
Yep.
Easy.
Sure.
So 10 minutes on the clock.
Yep.
We'll start over here. Walk us through who is the Holy Spirit?
Yep.
What does he do? And why is he even a God? Like,
Yep.
what is that? So ready, set, go.
Here we go. So the Holy Spirit is God, a third person of God. So he is individual from the Father and the Son as a third person of God, but he is God in and of himself, and the three together are God. There's certainly mystery there. The Trinity is
Another topic,
Yep.
another day.
So the Holy Spirit is God, and where it becomes very intimate really quick is the Holy Spirit is the only person of God that we really interact with. In other words, we interact with the Father through the Holy Spirit, and we interact with Jesus through the Holy Spirit. Even when I say, Jesus talked to me, or I met Jesus,
Yeah.
yes, you can talk with Jesus and you can meet Jesus, but it's through the Holy Spirit. Jesus is today limited in physical space in a resurrected body,
Yeah.
just like he was on earth in a physical body. And so the Holy Spirit is God, but he is the person of God that whispers in our ear. He's the person of God that sanctifies us and transforms us and makes our heart new and our mind new and alivens us from the inside.
Yeah.
He is the person of God who changes us and brings about, the fruit of the Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. He brings that out because he is at work changing who we are inside. So it's the person of God we hear. It's the person of God we feel. It's the person of God we can touch. It's the person of God who changes us from the inside. It's the person of God who is revealing to us Christ. So John 14, Jesus says, there's numerous key passages, but John 14, Jesus says, I'm not going to leave you alone. I'm leaving you the Helper, the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
He will come and reveal to you all that I have taught.
Yeah.
And so he is the one who reveals to us the words and teachings of Christ. So that's where I would start.
Yeah. Where would you keep going? Yeah.
So he is the comforter,
Yeah.
the revealer. He is the sanctifier. He is our seal. He is the one who will sustain us and give us strength to see us across the finish line.
Yeah.
He is the one who brings to us the work of the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus and transforms that to real life inside of us.
Yeah.
So the Holy Spirit is God, but everything that we have in the practical Christian living realm is through and with the Holy Spirit.
Yeah. That's good. Why do we, as Christians,
Yeah.
why do we either overemphasize the Holy Spirit or why do we underemphasize the Holy Spirit? Typically, we either go one way or the other.
Yeah. So some of this is even just personality, because the Holy Spirit is the person of God we experience. And the moment you say we experience him, we hear him, we interact with him,
Yeah.
now you just went into different human beings experience God differently. And different human beings are wired differently. And so there are some who are very experiential, directed. Well, they're probably going to over-exalt, in a sense, perhaps their feelings and their interactions with the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
But someone who is more reason-directed, more rationally directed, more academic, there's a real good chance they will diminish the Holy Spirit and simply put an emphasis on their faith
Yeah.
as opposed to the Holy Spirit's working
Yeah.
in their life.
How do we, as individuals, balance ourselves in that conversation?
Yeah. We ought to be seeking for the power of the Holy Spirit to transform our lives daily, hourly. We ought to know that if we're walking in our house as a husband or a father or a wife or a friend or a son or a daughter, if we're going to interact with other people, we don't have what it takes to walk through those doors and handle love as life is going to require it.
Yeah.
We have to rely on the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
When we go to work, so in everything of life, we should be relying on the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
I think there's a very conscious effort to keep in step, quote unquote,
Yeah.
with the Spirit.
Yeah. What are some misconceptions people have towards the Holy Spirit?
So most deal around the gifts.
Okay.
So the sign gifts and the gifts of the Holy Spirit, you know. And if you're talking about hospitality, like no one has a problem with that. But if you're talking about speaking in tongues
Yeah.
or prophecy or even healing, sometimes the sign gifts, there's a lot of confusion on those
Yeah.
things. And so we can enter into that. I think it's a good thing to study. I think it's good to remember that there is no gift of the Holy Spirit that is the evidence of the Holy Spirit. The evidence of the Holy Spirit is the fruit of the Holy Spirit.
So that was really technical. Come back and say it again a little more.
So there's no gifting of the Holy Spirit
Yeah.
that is the evidence of the Holy Spirit. So if you speak in tongues,
Yeah.
if you prophesy, if you're hospitable, if you're a leader, and those are Holy Spirit gifts in you, none of those are the evidence that the Holy Spirit is actually in you.
Yeah.
The evidence of the Holy Spirit being in you, that's love and joy and peace and patience and
Yeah.
kindness. That's the fruit of the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Fruit is the evidence. I know it's an apple tree because it's got apples on it.
Yeah.
I know someone has the Holy Spirit when they're loving. I know someone has the Holy Spirit when they're kind,
Yeah.
when they're joyful.
Yeah.
And that's important because sometimes in church history, whether you say groups or different ages have said, well, the evidence of the Spirit is that you, let's say speaking in tongues is a common
Yeah.
one. It's never been the evidence of the Holy
Yeah.
Spirit.
Yeah.
It's a gift of the Holy Spirit,
Yeah.
and so I don't diminish that,
Yeah.
but it's not the evidence.
Yeah. What does it mean for the Holy Spirit to be inside of me? That's something we talk about and walk through. What does that mean, though?
Yeah, so it gets into a little mysterious place, and I want to balance two sides of this, because listening, there could be someone who says, "Wow, I don't feel him inside.
Yeah.
So is he there?" And they can start doubting.
Yeah.
And I don't want to create that.
Yeah.
It's that person who prays and surrenders their life to Christ, and 10 minutes later, they don't feel like a different human being than an hour before, and so I don't want people to feel threatened by talking about experiencing the Holy Spirit. At the same time, the Holy Spirit of God is here and is available,
Yeah.
and we can live supernaturally. We can live with supernatural power.
Yeah.
We have the ability in both faith and fruit and gifting and regeneration. We have the ability to live holy, victorious lives today by the power of the Holy Spirit.
That's right.
And if someone is not walking in the Spirit, like at some level, you question salvation.
Yeah.
To be honest, like
Yeah.
the Holy Spirit is God and is central within the Trinity. And at the minimum, if someone's not walking in the Holy Spirit, what you want to do is slap them and say, how did you possibly miss it?
Yeah.
Like, did someone explain to you salvation and never got to this? But you've got to wake up and hear.
Yeah.
Because this is the most revolutionary, transformational thing you will ever walk into.
Yeah.
This is the power that raised Jesus from the dead. This is the power that is going to change your heart. This is the power that's going to renew your mind.
Yeah.
This is the power that is going to cause you to walk in victory. This is the power that is going to make you a different person.
Yeah.
Sign me up,
I
please.
need it.
Yep.
I need
Yep.
it. Last 30 seconds. Any final thoughts on the Holy Spirit?
Yeah. I would just encourage people to not settle for mediocrity or plateaus. If you in your faith, if you reflect and say, I'm really at the same place today with the Holy Spirit as I was a year ago, I hope there's a fire that starts to burn inside to say that's not okay. Holy Spirit, I want more of you. And maybe that is, in some ways that becomes our prayer.
Yes, it is.
Lord, I believe in you. Help me believe in you more.
Yeah.
Lord, I love you. Help me love you more.
Yeah.
Lord, I have the Holy Spirit, but I want more. Pour him out over me.
Yeah.
Rain your Holy Spirit down. Flood my soul that I might walk saturated in the Holy Spirit today.
Thanks, Greg. I'll give you 10.5 minutes. So there you go. So hopefully that doesn't answer all the questions about the Holy Spirit, but hopefully that gives you at least a place to start walking through this doctrine, this incredible thing of who the Holy Spirit is and how grateful we are of the work he does in us and through us.
Yeah.
And so thanks for the conversation, Greg. So
Praise God.
that wraps up this section of the Holy Spirit.